Hello, my name is Tiffany Chang, and this is Conductor as CEO, where I share some of my ideas about leadership. I imagine a world where conductors make artistic organizations great, like CEOs make businesses great. First, by being of service to its people. Recently, I've become really interested in ways we may revamp our grading and incentive structures for large ensembles in the pre-professional academic context, and by extension, the professional context as well. If we simply swap grade for pay or incentive, for the most part, the ideas can be mapped onto the professional setting quite easily. Now, we typically determine grades based on measurable metrics such as attendance. And at best, we use subjective evaluations of etiquette, attitude, musicianship, or effort as determined by usually one person, the leader, instructor, and or conductor. Within this context, grades become somewhat transactional. You do this to get that grade. We end up considering which grade we want and plan the corresponding actions that will result in that grade. We make decisions sometimes about how much we can get away with, not because we are terrible or malicious people, but because we're simply human beings easily affected by external motivators, or what we might call carrots and sticks. And if there was any inherent passion or intrinsic motivation for large ensemble playing, they are quickly squashed and diminished by these associations. And studies have shown this to be true. We end up thinking, I am not motivated to do this unless I am going to get that grade. Author Daniel Pink said in a talk, too many students walk through the schoolhouse door with one aim in mind, to get good grades. And all too often, the best way to reach this goal is to get with a program, avoid risks, and serve up the answers that the teacher wants, the way the teacher wants them. Good grades become a reward for compliance, but don't have much to do with learning. It is true that the typical education trains us to become compliance machines, and we get really good at it. What are the consequences for this in the large ensemble context? Well, we get tunnel vision and see only limited known solutions to problems. We are afraid to experiment and take risks, artistically and organizationally. We don't speak up in fear of things being wrong. We become less inquisitive and curious because why would we need to be so if we can do our bare minimum in a transactional context? We stop thinking for ourselves and feel uncomfortable having to make decisions. And our creativity suffers and the work becomes mundane. We end up with musicians who avoid taking risks and who want to play it safe. Musicians who are not interested in facets beyond the skills and tasks they are bringing to the table. While they may be fantastic musicians, they wait to be told what to do and how to think. Pink also says that we expect people to not like their job, so we put in place carrots or sticks to motivate them externally. People are the highest motivated by intrinsic aspects. The solution is not to entice people with a sweeter carrot or threaten with a sharper stick. Now, it's interesting to consider why we think we'd have to motivate externally as a default, and why we continue to be convinced that the threat of a lower grade would make someone more compliant, or that winning a salary bidding war would always secure a higher. Grades are the external carrots and sticks. They're not directly connected to the purpose and meaning of the work being done, nor internal values. They're simply not designed that way. And so people lack a sense of purpose beyond the reward of the grade, and they become less invested and less motivated from within. But I've been thinking, what if we could connect grades to purpose and values? Here are some what ifs. What if we could reframe the grading structure so that it measures and rewards a musician's contribution to the organization culture, the extent to which they are living out the organization's values, or how they are serving the organization's collective purpose? What if the grading items, such as attendance and musicianship, were not seen as simply the end goals, but rather means to achieve the organizational values and purpose? And every action and decision were funneled through those filters, seen through those lenses. What if we embraced more lateral, peer-to-peer evaluations and self-evaluations, in addition to top-down ones? What if the people had more of a stake in the assessment of themselves and their peers? To use my own ensemble as a case study, our values include excellence, innovation, belonging, collaboration, and accountability, among some other ones. Our purpose is to bring the conservatory experience to all musicians, regardless of major, and to challenge the status quo via our values. Now, we could document effort and track growth in musicianship as ways to seek excellence in the vein of a conservatory experience. We could treat appropriate ensemble etiquette and attitude as ways to peer assess how one contributes to a culture of belonging. We could use attendance and punctuality as ways of measuring one's commitment to accountability. We could emphasize creativity and encourage experimentation as ways to ensure a spirit of innovation and document how we change the status quo. And finally, we could design teamwork activities with peer reviews that provide opportunities for collaborative skills to shine. Now, this reframing of grades as a measure of purpose and values could be transformative in 1, aligning actions with organizational goals. 2, boosting intrinsic motivation that eliminates the need for carrots or sticks. And 3, motivating more creative musicians who can think for themselves and who contribute to their own fulfillment in their work. Ultimately, musicians in a large ensemble context should not feel like they are workers who exist as a cog in a transactional relationship. We can all change the focus in education and in the workplace to motivate us to be more fulfilled in the artistic work that we do. If these ideas resonate with you, please consider signing up in the link below to receive an email with each new blog post sent directly to your inbox. Thank you and have a great day.